My question is, what specific criteria should be used to determine who receives tax dollars as financial incentives for economic development?
I believe that anytime that we bring in low-paying jobs, it should be very, very much scrutinized in regards to giving any kind of abatements or help economically to bring them here. I'd like to see them come on their own. If we're looking at, and this is an area that I think that we need to have a policy on negotiations. I think that when we negotiate with companies, I know that it always can be a different scenario, but I think that we need to have some general policies in place to where a lot of people in Sioux City feel like we give away too much, that we give away too much land, that we give away too much in tax abatements. And I realize that we're competing with Nebraska and South Dakota, and I realize that sometimes it's tough competition. But I do think that we should have some policies in place talking about how much we are willing to do and the kind of jobs that it'll bring in and the kind of, like I said before, return on investment. So the main thing is, how soon will the city get paid back for this investment? And what kind of jobs will it bring, and how will it help the quality of life, and how will it help our tax base? There's a lot of layers that we can look at and find exactly what makes sense and what doesn't make sense in regards to the dollars that we spend, because they're not just the council's dollars, obviously they're yours and mine, they're tax dollars.
Okay, Mr. Hobart.
Again, that's a very good question. There's a lot of criteria that we could use. First of all, I would emphasize that those who receive tax dollars for development should not be, as a rule, retail type businesses. They should be manufacturing businesses, businesses that create services or create products rather than provide services. The Stony Creek project is not one that I would support because they are in direct competition with existing businesses in Sioux City. They're in basically direct contravention of the studies that have been conducted by the city showing that there's no really need for further hotel space in this town, hotel rooms. And consequently, they're one organization that I don't believe that should receive tax dollars for development. Nothing against Stony Creek per se. Stony Creek is probably a very good operation. But I don't believe that the city council should have gone out to find Stony Creek to bring them in to give them tax dollars to develop. We need high-paying jobs. We need jobs. We should require jobs be provided that meet or exceed the average employment rate for the county. We should, there's several different programs nationally that we should be, SEBA and a few others that we should be using as guidelines.
Mr. Hoffman's turn.
While Mr. Hobart and I might agree in philosophy with regards to how the city partners in businesses with respect to investment, we differ significantly in execution. I generally don't like to fix blame. I like to fix problems. And in May, in fact, I proposed a comprehensive city investment policy that would guide our overarching decisions about how we invest TIF dollars or property tax dollars in those. And I'll simply read from you this document. The City of Sioux City should adopt a comprehensive policy for TIF and economic development projects. As a minimum, we should consider the number of jobs created, for instance, 25 jobs or more with a specific wage level or impact and return on investment. A minimum user investment, for instance, that business must invest a minimum of $1 million for a corresponding return or investment or incentive at the state level or the city. And thirdly, require a minimum payback period, for instance, 10 years left, so we realize those dollars and they return and help, in essence, to grow the property tax base. We also differ on Stony Creek, but perhaps not in the criticisms, in the specifics. I would like to hear the specifics that Mr. Hobart disagrees on Stony Creek. Do you disagree on the $632,000 in annual revenues it would bring to property taxpayers, thus driving down the tax burden? Do you disagree with the 4 businesses that expanded, creating more than 120 jobs, more than 60 of which were high-paying medical positions? The devil's in the details, folks, and you got to understand it.
Yeah. Mr. Gary.
Thank you. Since I've served on City Council, my philosophy as it relates to incentives for businesses coming into this community have been abundantly simple. Number one, They need, my core belief is that they need to help the city, that we need to offer incentives when a business helps the city, helps us complete our key priorities. First priority is creation of jobs. When we've got a business, whether small or large, whether from inside the city or outside the city, that is going to bring in high-paying jobs, we need to consider partnering with that individual, partnering with that business to address an overwhelming need that our citizens, the more I go door to door, tell me we need high-paying jobs. The second criteria is that, does it grow our property tax base? If you listen to any of the people on the school board or even on the city council, you will find that we struggle with our property tax base. It's a key concern that we have, that we need to grow our community, grow those annual revenues as a solution to higher tax rates. And so if they're going to significantly enhance our property tax base, I think we should look at partnering with them. And then the third reason I would vote for incentives is that it helps redevelop a specific area of town that is in great need of redevelopment. Whether you look at the stockyards or whether you look at other parts of towns that need redevelopment, that need reinvestment, that need reinvigoration, I think the city is right to look at partnering with a business that can help us along with that project. If they meet one criteria, I'm willing to look at it. If they're willing to meet all three, that's fabulous.